Harford County Living, brought to you by Town Grill and Pub right down there in the Joppatown Plaza, where tonight they're actually having a Halloween party from 7 till. They're having a costume contest, a prize for that, and of course all kinds of drink specials. So make sure you get down there for that. Today being Halloween, we have some special guests in here. First, I'm going to introduce our local business, which is Teresa Stepp, who owns the Clay Monet.
Hi there.
How you doing, Teresa?
Good.
Good. And then, of course, we have Lisa Ryan and Robin Van Pelt of Harford Haunts. Did I get that right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're going to go to Teresa first. Teresa, tell us, what is the Clay Monet? How'd you get it? I've seen your work.
Thank you.
Matter of fact, I still have to get the Marine Corps Pilsner glass from you, but tell us about it.
Well, I started the Clay Monet roughly a year ago, and it happened with, of all things, social media. Somebody posted a polymer clay tile, art tile, on my wall, and I fell in love with it. I had no idea what it was, and so I ran to the grocery store, Redner's as a matter of fact, and bought a whole bunch of stuff to make salt dough. As it turns out, polymer clay is its own thing. It's not salt dough, and I still have 2 pounds of flour and salt in my cabinet. Anyway, so I just started playing with this clay, and before you know it, I posted a picture of a wine glass someone else had made, a person I admire who was in Australia. And as soon as I posted it to my wall, my friends went nuts. And I went, well, I can make that. So, I did my first glass, and it took me 3 days, and it was absolutely horrible. But it grew from there. And since then, in the short span of 12 months, I now have Raven's Oriole glasses. They're copyrighted. And I'm making jewelry. I've been to Sugarloaf, and I have a bunch of shows coming up. So it's been really, it's been fun. It's a lot of fun. First time in my life I'm actually able to pursue a passion and enjoy what I'm doing.
Well, what do? Just put them in a regular oven, or?
Well, I can't tell you all my secrets, but what I can tell you is the polymer clay that I use is molded and conditioned, and then it's actually fired and cured so that whatever I add to glass becomes a permanent forever fixture. It makes the glasses more durable, and they are art glasses. They are totally functional. I actually brought a few here, but you can't, I can show them to you, but I have a website, and you're welcome to go take a look. I'm also on Facebook. I am the claymonet.com, and I'm also the Clay Monet on Facebook, and that'll list all my shows, but I guess we can talk about some upcoming events.
Yeah, what do you have upcoming? That way people can get out there and buy some stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And my prices are really reasonable, too. I am, this month, I have quite a few things coming up in November. My first show is the White Marsh Town Fair. That's at the crossroads over Route 43 in Middle River. That's Saturday, November 14th.
That's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. Rob Fahey's playing, Straight Shooter, some bands. Oh. There's some things going on over there. Beer garden. You can buy your specialty beer glass from the Clay Monet and head over there. I have 2 pretty well-known shows, Christmas shows that run in November. One is Christmas in the Woods out of Bel Air. That's in the Bel Air Town Center. That runs from November 6th to December 6th. I have the Among Friends Craft Show, which might be sponsored by the Town Grill as well. And that's November 20th through December 6th as well. And then I have a home studio in Joppatown by appointment, and you can get in touch with me on Facebook or through my...
Very nice home studio.
Oh, yeah, and through my website. So I'm excited about all those things.
Great. Now, we're going to go over to Lisa and Robin, because I know with it being Halloween, God, we could talk for hours. Unfortunately, we only have 30 minutes. But tell us about Harford Haunts and how you guys got started and exactly what you do.
Okay, Harford Haunts Tours and Paranormal Research. I started the company 3 years ago. I had been doing this for over 10 years, and I had left a previous organization who I ran tours for. Because I wanted to branch out and do something different, and I wanted to bring a paranormal aspect to the tours. So you just don't go on a history and a ghost tour. Our guides are trained so that they can also teach you some of the paranormal devices that are used and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So that's what makes us stand out. But I had started as a guide, actually. I thought it'd be really cool. I saw them in Gettysburg, the tours, and I thought it'd be neat to have these in Havre de Grace because we have so much history to share. So I started off as a guide. It was all volunteer. I had a guy who took me in under his wing. He taught me all the ropes. And then I gradually started taking everything over. And so Havity Haunts Tours and Paranormal Research came about. And I actually met Robin probably about 6-7 years ago. She came out on one of our ghost tours. And we just kept a friendship from then. And she joined the team 3 years ago when the business started. And she is really our paranormal person that we go to. She's been doing this for over 30 years. And
Over 30 years?
Yeah, so I started probably back in the early 80s.
All right, first of all, both of you must have started when you were like 10 years old because you guys look too young to be, you said 10 years ago?
yes,
Yeah,
10 years
you look
ago.
about 20-some. You look like you may be in your 20s, early 30s. 30 years ago? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm actually 51, so.
No. Okay. Now, do you guys have anything coming up tonight, Halloween?
We do actually. We're going to be offering our 8:30 tour. We usually have a 7 p.m. tour as well, but we noticed on Halloween a lot of families like to go out with their kids and take them trick-or-treating. So we have a later tour for all the adults.
Okay.
Now we do cater to children, so kids are welcome as well, but we recommend that they be at least 6 years or older. Because some of the stories are not appropriate or we have to
Right.
tweak them a little bit. But we will be doing that on Halloween, and we run until the first weekend of November.
Okay.
We've extended the tours because of all the rain we had at the beginning of October.
Right.
So we will be running. You can catch a tour at the first weekend of November as well.
Great. All right, when we come back, we're going to possibly hear some good stories or something about the history of Harford County or things that have gone on. All four of us in here have experienced something when it comes to that, so stay tuned right here to Harford County Living on 1330 AM 1047 The Point. Welcome back to Harford County Living, brought to you by Town Grill and Pub right there in the Joppatown Shopping Plaza, 410-538-4665. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Make sure you go down there tonight. They're having their Halloween party. Best costume, they have prizes for that, all kinds of drink specials. The other thing you might want to check out when you go down there, I'm not sure if he's going to have the pit going today or not, but you ever get a chance, get down there and get some of the pit beef, pit turkey, and so forth. We're here with Teresa Stepp of the Clay Monet and, of course, Lisa Ryan and Robin Van Pelt of Havity Haunts. We were talking during the break, discussing some things with it being Halloween, some, nice, scary things, and Lisa and Robin were telling us about one of the, investigations you were on. So I'm going to turn it over to them because this, God, like I said, I could talk for hours about this. So who wants to take over? Lisa, Robin? Who wants to talk about this?
I can start and then I'll hand it over
Okay.
to Robin. I'll admit Robin is the brains behind the research aspect of it, and I'm the brains behind the business part.
Okay.
So we, back in 2013, we went to Bahuka's Antique Store on Washington Street, or Union Avenue,
Right, in Havity Grace. Okay.
And the owners there allowed us to come in and do an investigation of the building. There's a lot of antiques in there. It's got some history to it. It used to be Pickock's hardware store. And my father, my family dates back to before the War of 1812. And my father explained to me that one of the interesting things they used to do there is they built coffins, and specifically for babies, which is very
where
morbid.
Bahuka's is?
Yes, where Bahuka's is.
Oh, wow.
Correct. And with all the antiques as well, a lot of times spirits will travel with antique items.
Right.
But we did this investigation. There was a small group of us. There were 4 investigators, and then the 2 owners were there. And we definitely picked up some really good paranormal activity. And I think Robin can explain best that aspect of it. So.
Okay. You can turn that if you want.
Yeah, we had actually gone in that night because we were going to use it for like a training session.
Right.
To get people familiar with equipment and stuff like that with some of her new guides. Because, when she wants to send them out, she wants to make sure that they know what they're talking about and stuff like that. So we were doing an investigation to teach them that. So there's like 4 of us, like I said, with George, the owner. And we went around and we were doing some EVP and some EMF readings. And towards the end of the night, we got to the back of the store over by the steps. And as we were actually standing there, we were just kind of generally having a conversation. Mm-hmm. And the meters actually started, kind of going nuts with the lights were going off. The tri-field meters were getting readings, which is unusual for a tri-field because it's specifically made not to pick up like any generated AC readings or stuff like that. And it was kind of like, okay, something's going on here, right? So we said, okay, let's do an EVP session, which is basically electronic voice phenomenon.
Right.
And we started recording, and we're asking questions and stuff like that. And judging by the way the lights were going off and the machines were going off, we started, generally taking questions and trying to make them fit a certain situation by the way the lights were recording. And during the one point of the night, we asked, okay, can you tell us your name? And later on, as we went back and reviewed the evidence, we actually hear someone who was not with us at that time say the name Harold. You actually hear him saying Harold.
God, I bet that would make the hair stand up on the back of your neck.
I can try to play it for you. I don't know if it'll work or not. I actually have it on my recorder.
Let's share it with everybody out there. See if we can get it.
Yeah, you'll hear him kind of towards the very end of it.
Okay.
Did you ever tell us your name?
I don't know if you could hear that or not.
I heard that, yeah.
You can hear it in the
Yeah,
studio.
Tell us your name.
Wow. Who? Now, how, I mean, does that happen often from other investigations, or? That you pick up something like that?
You don't get them on every investigation.
Right.
No, it's actually very rare to actually get a really good EVP because a lot of them, they have different scales like A, B, C, different types of quality.
Right.
And to actually get this be like considered A quality because you can actually hear it and understand it. You don't have to like use earplugs or anything like that.
Yeah,
earphones and stuff.
Just to let you all know, that was on her phone, and I could hear it clear as day.
Right, and on the recorders, it's even better. You can hear it straight out.
Wow.
But yeah, so to get the activity that we did at Bahukas, though, like with the lights and the machines working with us and answering all the different types of questions, that was really cool. That was actually a rare experience for us.
Wow.
I've gone to a lot of haunted locations, very famous locations, like the Myrtles Plantation. I've traveled all over. I've traveled all over, luckily, with different places, and we've had experience. I've had experience at those places too. But that was actually really cool, really fun to experience over there.
Wow.
And with me coming in as a skeptic, we had set up a flashlight and had asked that they turn the flashlight on. And we waited a few seconds later, and then the flashlight came on by itself. And I gotta tell you, I was actually blown away by it, and I do believe now.
Wait, the flashlight came on by itself?
The flashlight came on by itself, and it was the twist flashlight, like the twist the top of it to turn on.
Oh, no button?
No button. No, it was the twist kind. And it actually came on by itself. And so now that I've experienced that, I do feel that there is some type of paranormal activity out there.
Yeah, we think you brought something over here. We're hearing something
static.
Oh, well, let's talk about that when we come back, because we have some static going on or something here, so we're going to find out what's going on with that.
I heard that.
Once again, so you heard it too.
I heard it too.
Once again, you're listening to the Harford County Living right here on 1330 1047 The Point. Welcome back to Harford County Living, brought to you by Town Grill and Pub. Once again, right down there in the Joppatown Shopping Plaza. Go there tonight, Halloween, for their Halloween party, where they're giving away prizes for the best costume, drink specials, and so forth. Actually, look at some of the photos in there. You may see some spooky ones, come to think of it. One of the things, before we get back to our stories here, one of the things that I pushed on our website, harfordcountyliving.com, every month we like to give away a free ad to a local business. And I said that I would be announcing the winner today. So the winner of the free ad on harfordcountyliving.com is actually Kitty Academy of Abingdon. So congratulations to you guys. All right, we're going back to Lisa and Robin. Something about a head or something? What was that?
Head in the window.
A head in the window.
All right, on our ghost tours, we like to encourage people to bring cameras. And I had one guy last week, he brought all of his ghost hunting devices with him, and he had a good time because he was using them with the guy.
Right.
And we encourage that. We like that. We love that person that's just willing to go out there and help us obtain photos
Right.
and things. So I believe it was last year, maybe 2 years ago, we had a person that went on one of our ghost tours, and she, they were in front of the American Legion in Havre de Grace, yes.
Okay.
And she took a few photos of the front of the building. Well, the story goes that there are a few stories with the American Legion, but there used to be, it was a hotel at one point,
Right.
and there was a prostitute that worked out of this hotel, and she was having some bad times, depressed and everything. And so she hung herself from the top floor of the hotel there, and she supposedly haunts the third floor of that building.
Oh, wow.
But
So the legend says.
so the legend says, yes. But there's also been sightings of Joseph L. Davis. That is what...
That's who the Legion's named after.
Yes, that's
okay.
who the Legion is named after. And this picture that she captured, she sent it to me, and you could see a shadowy figure of a head in the first floor window all the way to the right of the door. And you could see it clear as day. It looked like a head. A head in the window. So I sent it to Robin, and she went through everything, and she kind of debunked everything. And that room right there is an office. And right where that window sits, there's a desk. And we tried, seeing... This was late at night. Nobody
Right.
would be in there. There were no lights on. It's vacant. So we had declared that this could possibly be some sort of paranormal apparition.
Wow.
And then Robin later went in there and she did some more investigating, and I think you want to add to that.
Yeah, I've gone there actually a few times. They've let me in to do, like some EVP and different stuff
Right.
for those guys. And I actually came in with a friend of mine who's a medium, and her name's Kelly Scholler. And we went in and we did some work through there, and she was actually able to, pick up a lot of different spirits. A couple of them that she was, and that matched like the history of the place and everything too. And she actually got the female, spirit, and we do
The
have
one
a,
that hung herself.
well, I mean, so legend
Right.
goes, you
Okay.
can't say specifically it was
Right.
that entity, but we actually did get a female voice too when Kelly was talking and saying that this is the images that I'm receiving and this is, what I'm getting. You actually have a female there that backs up and said, goes, yeah, you're right. That we
Wow.
actually called on tape. So, we have a lot of different stuff like to back up everything, but you got to figure, Havre de Grace has such a history
Right.
from the War of 1812. A lot of people don't know that there was actual Civil War troops and encampments that actually were right here by the Lock House and stuff. We didn't actually see war here, but because of the ferry
Right.
and the railroads, they sent all these troops for within a couple of years down to protect the railroads because that was the main transportation route between here and Baltimore and getting up to Philly. So they actually had those people come here, and then some of them, died in the area because they got sick and things. So you have people have actually seen supposedly a Civil War soldier down around by the
by
Legion
the
too,
Oh.
by the Legion and stuff, and they were like, "Why would there be one?" Well, I did my research and actually found documentation about the different troops that were actually sent here.
Oh, wow.
Too. And then you have the 1920s, with the gambling
Roaring
and everything that came
20s.
into here, the Roaring 20s. So you have different murders that took place back in that time period, especially with the Prohibition.
Right.
And one thing you learn is Havre de Grace was full of fires and hangings. A lot of people hung themselves, and then a lot of people died in fires.
Yeah, I was going to say, because with the War of 1812, wasn't most of the, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't most of the Havre de Grace burnt down?
Yes.
Within 2 hours, like the whole place.
Yeah.
With the
I mean, that's-
exception of a few buildings, which there are some still standing, and they are on our tour.
Oh, wow. There you go, people. So you definitely have to get out there for this tour. And one of the things I've always said definitely look into the history of Harford County. A lot of people don't realize how much history there is. Now, we were talking about just about Haverty Grace. And there's other places, Aberdeen, Joppatown, Edgewood. You even go out to Darlington, it's amazing. The Rocks, of course. There's all kinds of good stories for up there. So I want to thank Teresa of the Clay Monet, and of course Lisa and Robin of Haverty Haunts, and definitely get down there for some of you guys do tours around there, right?
Yeah, can I add one more thing?
Of course.
I just want to say there's been a lot of confusion between guests. There are 2 ghost tours in town. We are Haverty Haunts Tours and Paranormal Research. What makes us different is we add the investigations and the paranormal aspect of, the tour.
Make it more real.
Yes, we've done everything ourselves. We've looked at the history and everything. And we work out of Concord Point Coffee, which is at 217 North Washington Street. And you can actually purchase tickets on our website at www.havertyhaunts.com. If you purchase in advance, the ticket prices are only $13, and if you purchase at the table, they go up to $14. So you get a little bit of a discount.
Right.
But we also cater to children are at $10, and we also cater to the military and veterans as well. They get a discounted price. And we do groups, and we don't just do the group tours in the month of October into November. We do them all year round. So if you have a group, you can give us a call or an email, come on out, and we'll set you up. We can take you out any time or day as long as we have a guide.
Nice. And speaking of military and veterans, make sure you join us next week because my favorite birthday and holiday are coming up. No, not my birthday, the Marine Corps birthday, and of course, Veterans Day. Maybe I'll have to get somebody from the Legion up here on that, from Joseph L. Davis. Once again, thank you for joining Harford County Living. I'm Rich Bennett. Thanks to Teresa, Lisa, and Robin Van Pelt. And we'll see you or talk to you next week right here on 1330, 104.7 The Point.